Hi again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of RVBusiness Capitol Talk, sponsored by the Dicor Corporation. I'm Rick Kessler. With me, as always, is Sherman Goldenberg. And joining us today is Debbie Brunoforte, president and owner of Little Dealer, Little Prices, 3 dealerships in the Phoenix, Mesa, and Prescott Valley, Arizona area. Also, gosh, I guess if you don't know Debbie, then where have you been? Chairman of RVDA in 2010, still serves on a number of committees. Go RVing, maybe, I think, is one of them still. Many awards, many accolades, just an all-around terrific person. Debbie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Rick.
In a Hall of Fame vice president of the board, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, the vice chairman of the RVMH Hall of Fame, Sherm.
Yeah, I got that right. Okay, and so we'll come back to that. Rick, go ahead.
Okay, Debbie, let's start out. I think yesterday we got our retail sales for 2021, set a new record, 560 some thousand. That on top of the previous week shipments, another just over 600,000. Your thoughts on those two numbers?
Well, it's very positive. Obviously, the entire industry has benefited from the demand in RVs and the big surge, the new buyers that we have. You know, the wonderful thing is that so many people have now discovered the freedom and adventure of RV. And it's interesting that you bring it up. We all know that it's been good for the RV industry. In the beginning, though, our thoughts at the dealership were that once the vaccines were out and people were comfortable in their old style of vacation, you know, hotel, airline, and so forth, that we would have a plethora of late model used RVs, to the point where we considered opening another dealership. It could be just a used dealership, expecting this flood of inventory. And in the past year and a half, we've been trying to get inventory. We've been e-blasting and contacting our consumer base frequently, asking them, let us buy your RV. We'd like to buy your RV. And it's been so frustrating because they won't sell them. And the benefit, the good news of that is people like it. People are just enjoying it and they're hanging on. It's positive for our industry because I truly feel that our industry has been permanently elevated. There are so many people that have now discovered the joys of RVing and they're sticking to it. You know, if I could add one more thing here, Rick, it's interesting that we have a weekly manager meeting, and yesterday it was brought up during our weekly manager meeting that during the lockdown, so many families were, of course, confined to their home. And it used to be prior to that we're so fragmented, many families were not having any meals at all together anymore. Everyone is busy, they have their own agenda, they're doing things. And now they're all confined together. And over time, people discovered that they liked it. The kids liked being with their parents and the rest of the family. And of course, the parents liked it. So there might be a new dynamic that will permanently benefit the RV industry, this idea of family togetherness and family community.
Okay.
Your inventories right now, you alluded to that struggle over the last 2 years. How do you sit now?
Inventory is great. I expect the entire industry everywhere in the country will, by the end of Q1, will be fully inventoried in towables. Motorhome, that's still a struggle. You know, it's a year off. Who knows how far off? But towables, at least we have the towables, and we're very happy with the inventory levels. We're not completely full yet, but it's normalizing at a rapid pace.
And let me take that one more step, Rick, into a natural question is, so you see apparently the industry approaching a soft landing, if that's the term, this spring and into the summer, coming out of the, God willing, coming out of the pandemic?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean by soft landing. I do expect that we will have inventory. Inventories will be back to normal levels. I expect that the demand to remain strong. Even so far this year, we're 2 months into our fiscal year, and We're tracking up 18% still.
Wow.
So, there still is consumer demand. What we don't see is the panic. And a panic is probably the wrong word.
The
It
urgency.
used to be, though, that people had this urgency. They need to go ahead and get something. They were quicker to make decisions. They would compromise on their wants. We're not seeing that anymore. It's a more normalized situation. But the demand is still there. People are still coming in.
Wow. It's amazing. Rick, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, this maybe not the best topic to bring up, but how about pricing? Is that becoming any more of a challenge lately?
It is a great challenge in my brain. So we haven't seen it as much on the retail level. Even some of the feedback I'm hearing from the shows that the pricing of the RVs is not, they're not seeing huge pushback from consumers on the pricing of the RVs. So that may be good news. The affordability, the entire affordability aspect of it is a concern to me.
The other issues we hear about, in particular labor, has that affected your operation? The shortage thereof?
Yes, labor has been a struggle. However, we're seeing an improvement in that as well. We're seeing more and more people coming here that would like to join our team. So the inventory pressure is greatly relieved, as well as the labor pressure is relieved.
What about on the repair side of things? There's always been pressure on that. How's that going?
Ever since I grew up in this business, Rick, and ever since I've been in the business, we've had a shortage of RV technicians. And the interesting thing is, it's the same thing in the automobile business. They're always short of automobile technicians. So that remains the situation. We would like to have more experienced RV technicians. In fact, we just had RVTI here with the training, 16 people in the training.
Okay.
Most of them came away certified, level 1 certified. The ones that didn't quite make it are able to retest. They have to keep working on it a little bit more. But, we have a whole career ladder here at our dealership where they started at PDI, then they can become an apprentice and they can move up to warranty, and then they become, a full technician. They have to be certified. We've always had a requirement here that one of the conditions of employment is you either need to be certified or in the process of becoming certified.
Sherman, I got one quick question before we move into the Hall of Fame, if that's okay. And I should have mentioned this in the introduction, but Debbie, your dealership was founded by your parents in '66. You grew up in the business, right?
That's right.
What'd you start out doing?
Oh, I was the best paper picker-upper you've ever met. My parents believed in free child labor. So my siblings and I would spend our weekends working at the dealership, picking up litter, cleaning trailers. Eventually I was promoted. I was able to answer the telephone, all of these very technical jobs. And we didn't get paid. I remember I got a little older one time, and I told my dad that by that time I was getting paid 50 cents an hour because, Dad could see I'm getting older too, right? But I decided I'd rather give up the 50 cents an hour and have the weekend to be with my friends. So I told my dad I was going to have to resign, and his reply was, "So you don't like making 50 cents an hour?" I said, "Okay, I get it. I'll keep working." The idea was the working was not optional. The only thing optional was the 50 cents an hour.
Oh,
I thought I'd insert a question, and then we'll go to the Hall of Fame. Consolidation. Been paying attention to it personally, just kind of trying to scientifically watch this occur. Retail consolidation now. Nobody, you've got a ringside seat yourself, Debbie. What do you think about all this and the dealer groups that are emerging and the results of it, the impact?
Well, my first thought, Sherman, on things that are out of my control, it's one of my favorite quotes, and that is, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor is it the most intelligent. It's the most adaptable." And so when things are beyond my control, such as consolidation, pandemic, recession, whatever it may be, Our challenge is to adapt to the reality, to whatever the changes may be in our environment. And I do truly believe that there is always going to be a place for a good, well-run, strong, independent dealer. As much consolidation as we have, and we only need to look to the automobile industry to see an example. We've seen tremendous consolidation for many years now, and you still have some very well-run and well-respected independents out there as well.
Well put. Well put. Hall of Fame. You're vice chair. I get that right, right? Of the board of directors of the RVMH Hall of Fame, and we haven't. We've watched an enhanced evolution here, there as well, where the Hall of Fame, unless you take a time frame of 3 years, it's pretty amazing what's occurred, is it not?
Yes, they've done a great job over there. As large as our industry is, we're a large industry in the big scope of things, the outdoor recreation especially, and RVs are a big part of that. And we have a huge impact to our country and to the world. I believe what we do is very important. Everyone knows the physical and mental health aspects of being out in nature and being in the outdoors, and we provide that to people. We allow them to build these family members and bonding with one another. It's mostly an all-American industry, and it's important to preserve the history of our industry, and RVMH does that. So I believe in their mission. I believe in what they're doing. The challenge when I first joined, when I was chairman of RVDA in 2010, they were having financial difficulties, severe financial difficulties. And due to Daryl Sear stepping in and the board of directors at that time, they saved it. They saved the Hall of Fame. So one of the concerns that I had when I joined the board of directors is, how do we have a financial model that ensures that the RVMH will be there long term? Because the admission price to go through the museum is not enough. That's not enough revenue to sustain it. So one of the things they did is they built the event centers. There's the big pavilion out there now. There's a rally site, the pavilion. Lots of people book that for weddings and various things. And one of the projects that we have now in our 50th year, it's the 50th anniversary, is to do an expansion on the existing building that will be additional event space, because the event space and the revenue that they generate from events helps provide financial sustainability for the RVMH Hall of Fame. And they put it in their bylaws. After going through that tremendous financial difficulty, they rewrote the bylaws and put it in the bylaws that they cannot go into debt. So if we have any kind of expansion, it can't be done without donations. We have to just go out into the community and ask for donations, and then we can build it. And that provides us a model to keep it going long-term in the future. So, if I may, I'd like to take the opportunity to ask everyone to please consider making a financial donation. It's nonprofit, making a financial donation to the RVMH Hall of Fame.
Let's touch quickly on the latest expansions. One was a manufactured housing addition, which is now complete, correct?
Yes, that's correct. RVMH, it's not RV motorhome, it's RV manufactured home. And we've had this beautiful museum for the RV industry for years. If anyone listening has not been through the museum, please go through. It's fascinating. It's super cool. It's fun. You'll absolutely love it. I don't know exactly how many years they've had the museum for RVs. However, they've never had one for the manufactured housing industry. So we just were able to get that done this last year. The manufactured housing industry really stepped up. We needed $2 million to build it, and it came through, and that goal was accomplished.
Okay, and then comes an additional, at this point, just an announcement of an additional expansion, I believe 38,000 square feet. Tell us more about that.
Well, that will be for event space. And the event space, as we touched on earlier, is what helps sustain the RVMH into the future. So we're hoping, there again, we can't do it without financial donations from the RV community. And we're hoping that everyone will be enthusiastic and they believe in the mission of preserving our history, and they'll make that contribution so that we can have that additional event space.
Revenue generating space is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. And it'll be used during open house. We'll be able to fill it completely during open house with the vendor. So it'll be nice for them too, because in the past, there hasn't been enough space for the vendors and they have to say no to many of the vendors. And this way we'll be able to accommodate everyone.
I see. Okay, and that's assuming that we'll have an open house this year. Pardon me for being.
Yeah, you're not forecasting another variant, are you, sure?
I sure as hell hope not. Yeah. So, all right. I think we've done it. Rick, any loose ends on your end?
No, the only loose end I might is just so happens I was driving past the Hall of Fame last night and the pavilion was open and being used. So it caught my eye and I looked over and it was floor hockey. And I just thought, a bunch of kids running around. It was pretty cool to see.
That is cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to watch.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, I was going to sign off, but you have something.
Well, I just want to add, and another change in that area is this enormous Amazon facility across the toll road changes landscape. I'm not saying that in a negative or a positive way. Yeah. So, okay.
Well, Debbie, thank you very much. Can't wait to get out there to Arizona and away from all this snow up here in the Midwest. But thank you again for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Take care.